Yo, what's good? In today's video, I'll be talking about a specific topic, getting out of your comfort zone. I believe getting out of your comfort zone is really crucial in your life, in anybody's life, because you will be able to develop new skills, abilities, or tricks, like tricks up your sleeve against the competition. It can be in the real world or even in Splatoon, but I will talk about Splatoon while also giving examples that I met or I face in real life. For example, you're trying to learn a new weapon. I won't go too deep into details because I also have another video about how to learn a new weapon in Splatoon. But yeah, the way you learn your new weapon, getting to know how the weapon works, what you can do with it, the kits. Does he have a bomb? Does he not? How can you use your kit? The maps? How you play your weapon on certain maps? How you're supposed to play against certain weapons? Everything. So when you get out of your comfort zone, you used to play one weapon and you switch to a different one. It's like you have to relearn the game in some way. You have to transfer the skills you acquired from your first gun towards your second gun, your new gun. So it's not a process that you just flip from a finger and yeah, you know everything about it. No, it takes time. It takes a lot of time to transfer a skill to something new. Therefore, a quick story related to my real life. It's about English. Well, you probably can hear it from my voice, even though I'm currently sick, but you can hear it from my voice. I have a French accent. I'm French. But when I was a kid, the reason why I started to learn English, honestly, I was probably 8, I was 7, I guess. 7 years old or something like that. I saw my brother look at a movie with English subtitles. So I asked him, like, okay, what language is it? He told me it's English. And I was curious. I was very curious because I was not understanding what was happening in there. I was not understanding those words. I was very curious. That's what you want to do. When you get out of the comfort zone, you need to be curious. And again, in the story, I told myself that I want to learn English as soon as possible because I want to be able to communicate, speak with a lot of people across the world and not only French people. I enjoy French. I like speaking a language, but I also want to learn other language. I want to be able to communicate in English, Spanish, French, Lingala, others. I want to know as many languages as I can, and that will help me out in the real life later on. And of course, it's not, when I was a kid, I was not thinking about all of this. When I was thinking of English, I just wanted to learn English in order to understand what was happening on the screen, and later on, it just progressing, and towards the end, just being able to communicate with as many people as possible. That's why it got me to learn English. It's not video games, it's not sports, it's just understanding things around me because I was very curious as a kid. But yeah, when you're able to learn a new skill, you get out of your comfort zone, you would be able to learn new things. You would generate new opportunities. Again, for example, the fact I'm able to speak English quite well, it opens so many doors for me, like so many opportunities. Jobs, there are a lot of jobs you can get just by speaking different language. Like not only speaking one language, like actually speaking different language, it can help you out on this. Same when I was sponsored. Like in what world you see that often that a French person gets sponsored by a Canadian or USA organization? It doesn't happen that often, right? And I think that was very interesting to me. Now that I think about it, me learning this language or getting getting out of my comfort zone, working on my skills, my networking, my skills, ability, tricks. Because again, when I started playing Splatoon 3, I had one goal in mind. First, it was I want to learn as many tricks as possible with the introduction of Squid Search and new maps. I told myself, okay, I want to go on every single map and find just a little trick that I would be able to use in a real match and that would give me the upper hand on the competition. So I tried to look on multiple maps, mods, and I found a few that eventually got patched, but yeah, I still found them. There was a trick on Inkblot. If I found the clip, I would show it on the screen. Like, there was a trick on Inkblot that was actually crazy. But the craziest trick I found is on Tower Control Mincemeat Metalworks, where you could go in an area that was weirdly accessible for most people, and you could pop a crab tank, or you could have a charger, whatever. It gives you an upper hand, a massive upper hand on your opponent. And so yeah, I just enjoy finding the kind of tricks. And the same in Mario Kart. There was on Bowser's Castle, this is a specific trick that I learned. Like, I was just messing around with tricks. I was like, okay, if I can do this, is it possible that I can do this kind of trick? And I tried, I failed again. But I was improving. Like, when you learn something, you need to be enjoying it. You need to enjoy the process of learning. At first you will suck. Let me tell you straight. In anything you will do, at first you will suck. But you need to like the process of learning. Because the more you learn, the more you start enjoying what you're doing, and you go up, and eventually you master the skill, and you're out of your comfort zone. It becomes your new zone. You go from getting out of the comfort zone to getting into a new zone without forgetting what you learned before. And I think that's why it is really fascinating about Live, or even about Splatoon, is you have so many diverse weapons. So many weapons that are not the same. You have multiple categories: shooters, blasters, splatana, roller, brush, snipers. You have so many different weapons in a game, and that's what I found really fascinating about the game. Is you have mechanics that you don't really find in any other video games, a good concept, weapons that are not the same, they're very different, they work differently, and that's what got me into Splatoon in the first place. Is all of that, the mechanical aspect of the game. And very fascinating. So that's why nowadays I do those kind of videos where I tell my story. I tell stories about getting out of your comfort zone, or other things you will learn. I want to make them feel what I felt back then, being all excited, all excited of learning something new and using it on a daily basis. Because nowadays, even with my job, there are a lot of time I speak English. It's gonna sound very weird, but I'm really at the point where I speak as much English as French on a daily basis, if not more English than French. So yeah, now it's like I just find it amazing. I really find it amazing, and so I want to be inspirational for others. Because when you learn, you get out of your comfort zone and you start learning new skills that can be helpful in your real life, holy crap, you will find so many opportunities. And of course, finding opportunities, you need to work on that. You cannot just learn this and that's it. You need to do some marketing. You need to sell yourself, sell your skills, show to the world that you can do this and that. Promote yourself. That's how you become inspiration to others, because if nobody knows you, they don't know your background, it can be very difficult for them to get to willing to know you. Since nowadays a lot of people in video games or in the real world, they have a really short attention span, so they want everything on the silver plate. They want to get this and that right away. They want to be told, okay, if you do this, you will win this amount of money. If you if you follow this course, you will get X amount of money without working. And no, it's not gonna work like that. And that's why I'm curious. I'm curious in the process more than in the results, because I want to know what type of skills I will get on the long run. But yeah, I have so many things to say on multiple topics, and this is why I'm making such videos. But yeah, I hope you appreciate it. I hope it was helpful for you guys. You would learn something from this video, and I will see you next time. See ya.